I may have just watched the most cringe-worthy movie of all time. Hey people, my name's Jim and you have landed on Planet Rewind, and it is time to talk about The Witches 2020. I recently talked about the 1990 Witches movie, and you should go back and check that review out and check that film out because it's a lot better than this. For this movie, I was optimistic about because I did a reaction to the trailer and I actually liked the trailer, I must say so. I did enjoy the look of the trailer, but the actual film is something else. This is a really bad film in my opinion. I actually think it's god awful. First, I really want to say that it was great to see two black leads, Octavia Spencer as the grandma, Joseph Bruno as the little boy, the main protagonist in the movie. It was nice to see, and these are really good actors. I enjoyed the relationship between the little boy and the grandma, I really did. I actually really felt like they actually went deeper in this one than we saw in that one. But it just didn't fully resonate because there were times when it was like, oh, that's a sweet relationship. But when she starts telling about witches, it's so inconsequential, it's so not threatening, it's so not menacing. You really remember that scene in the 1990 film where she's telling about witches, and it's really disturbing and really ambitious and really brave for its time in a children's film. This is just, you know what kid, there's witches. Alright, yeah, there's just witches, watch out for them. Stories of the children, who encountered witches, the grandma telling those stories, was so much more inconsequential and bland than we saw in the 1990 movie. That movie is bloody disturbing, when we hear about the little girl who ended up being put in a bloody picture on a wall, literally getting put into a painting for life, and just staring out of that picture for life was absolutely terrifying as a kid. In this, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but it's like laughable. It's like it's really odd. It's really embarrassing. The story she tells about what happened to kids at the hands of witches, it just makes you laugh. It doesn't actually make you uncomfortable. The first appearance of a witch in this film is a load of old arse. It's so bad when she shows up. Think of the first appearance of the witch in a 1990 film. That lady was so scary with those eyes and the way she delivered her lines. The way she just was threatening whilst Luke was stuck up a tree was horrifying. This is literally, Luke is in a department store and this woman who speaks in such a weird way, who doesn't look threatening, and she speaks not in a weird way in such a scary way, just a really weird lingering her words and trying to be threatening but not. The whole setting isn't threatening. She doesn't look threatening. She's got a CGI snake. It's just really bizarre, the first appearance of a witch in this, because she's not threatening whatsoever. She's laughable. And that sets the tone for the witches in this movie. The witches are laughable. Anne Hathaway in this movie, guys, I like the actress. She's overdoing it. She's overplaying it. Angelica Houston really nailed the Grand High Witch. Angelica Houston's performance was so full of charisma, full of disturbing arrogance and undertones and menace. Anne Hathaway in this, she's overplaying it. She's trying to be the best parts of Angelica Houston. I think she's trying to be more scary than Angelica Houston, and it seems like a deliberate attempt. She seems like she's trying to be scary. She's like really in your face and aggressive with the performance. Whereas Angelica Houston, even when she, became the monstrous witch, she was just naturally scary. She just was. She didn't force it. Something I really want to talk about is the CGI in this. I'm a critic of CGI, and I've got to get to the point where I start accepting it, because I'm going to end up getting old, just grumbling wherever I see CGI. And I've accepted it more. But the practical effects in 1990 Witches, and the practical effects in all 90s and 80s movies, and even before that, just feel so earnest for me, so from the heart, so involving. This is just literally, it looks like a computer, and I can never escape that. I don't understand why there's CGI in films from years ago where it doesn't look like a computer. It just seems so lazy. I don't understand what's going on with CGI today. It looks so fake. But there is basically something that the Grand High Witch has, which is her smile can go into a Joker smile. And her face contorts into a Joker smile. And it is the most laughable, embarrassing, cringeworthy, terrible thing in this movie. When that mouth goes, I'm like, I laugh my head off. When that mouth goes, you will be laughing your head off because it's the most ridiculous thing you will ever see. It's not scary, it's deliberately thrown in there to just make you jump. And I must say, I feel bad because Anne Hathaway is clearly trying. She is clearly trying, but she's just taken it too far. She's overplaying it. And the whole film seems to be trying too hard in a weird way. There's a moment in this where Anne Hathaway walks over to the grandma and she's sitting eating. And because she knew the grandma when she was a kid and she knew she used to have pigtails, Anne Hathaway goes, "Pigtails." And I just... that should be a meme. There should be now a meme existing of Anne Hathaway going, "Pigtails." It's laughable. It's trying to be disturbing, but it's just laughable. It's like, what is this? You know, it seems to go in line with those movies you find where a word is said, or a name, in such an awkward way, and it's supposed to be disturbing, and it just ends up like, what throws you off? It's like bad. The movie also gets really boring once the kids are turned into mice, as they are in the 1990 version, where I think it actually gets a bit more adventurous and happy in that one. This just gets boring. I just end up not interested in anything that's happening. It's a real shame because Octavia Spencer is fantastic as a grandma. I actually think she's better than the grandma in the original, I actually do. I just wish they'd given her more to do. I reckon she could have pulled that off more, you know, being more scary when she's telling the story and, you know, this and that. But she's good and the little boy is good, but they're just never really, nothing really ever clicks in this movie. You enjoy watching them, but they're like the only bright sparks in this. What do you guys think of The Witches 2020? Let me know in the comments below. Did you like it or did you dislike it like me? Did you think it was okay? Let's discuss the film. Thanks for watching Planet Rewind. Please consider subscribing and I'll see you guys next time.